lettuce and tomatoes off that chicken sandwich. Birdies flying through the clouds, I got a picture scrambling. Now you a chicken with no head when you throw temper tantrums. Flapping, looking like a fucking dead fish or salmon. Like a Mormon, all you niggas is worshiping mammon. Elephants or a demon that materialize. Archangel Uriel, this my year to rise, yeah. It's all of you I call liars. The way that you receive knowledge just made me think that you got Alzheimer's. I know we all fell in the hell of desires that we call fire. Archangel Uriel, flight boss higher. Now I'm a grave digger. That shit that you be saying, I can dig it. Now I'm a grave digger. That shit that you be saying, I can't take it.
Saying all kind of shit. But yeah, you know, when you're able to see the witchcraft right in front of you, you're able to see how they built the whole world. Period. And that's who they referring to. They referring to themselves as these gods in the Bible and shit like that. They referring to themselves. If you ain't know no better, you will see that. If you ain't know no better, you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see these motherfuckers is referring to themselves. And the witchcraft of it is making you believe in the spookism version. And they look at themselves as the creators and inventors of spookism. They love being the ones who spook y'all. Like they into that. They get adrenaline. They can't wait till y'all die to take y'all organs and eat that shit. When y'all families practice the ceremony, because your grandmother don't know no better. So when y'all families practice the ceremony of what we call funeral, that's a ceremony. That's a Masonic ceremony. That's a compass, square and compass, casket ceremony, Hiram Abiff ritual. Like, they actually do these things in lodges once you reach a certain degree, where they like bury you and some shit like that, or put you in like a room and put you in a casket, like a coffin and shit, like the Undertaker. Like a lot of like wrestling shit be like everything they show, cartoons, wrestling shit be like subsidiary rituals that they do on the masses, but they really do them in depth and really be drinking blood and shit like that in depth in these Masonic lodges. And you might think, what's the purpose of it? The purpose of it is adrenaline, right? Here's the thing. Adrenaline develops thought forms and feelings you're not familiar with and you wouldn't have had elsewise, especially if you're just acting in regular with your human race, right? So when you do new things, you develop new thoughts and feelings, and that mind could bend in on itself and develop as new organs or new concepts or new bringing things into life and new ways of characteristic traits that they can create as mental formations and alchemies to place y'all in to see what kind of new beasts can be created and things of that nature. So it's a deep science when it comes to adrenaline. Now, they got everybody practicing subsidiary versions of these Masonic spells, right? So for an example, in order for them to still get rich and shit like that, here's where shit like bungee diving come into play, snowboarding come into play, being a race car driver, a swimmer, a timer swimmer, a sports person and shit like that. These things are like low-class subsidiary Masonic rituals that they just give to the sheep-minded to participate in the world like they participate, but y'all still built their world. But so y'all can get small portions of what they be doing without the understanding of what's going on with yourself. And the whole concept is to build adrenaline. And adrenaline takes you into a new mind state, and they understand the mind is how we're creating everything outside of us. So this is how they're able to keep control and understand specific psyches and encapsulate it with words and virtues and objects and images in order to keep categorizing individuals of the sheep mind, because y'all don't know how to think for these things for yourselves. You see what I'm saying? So they do experimenting like fucking animals, fucking new races of people. They love doing that because that they make them master builders, aka slaves. Egyptians make everybody build their world, but they do this with animals. They do this with eating type things that they know they ain't supposed to. All kind of shit for the sake of adrenaline and shit. And there's a science and a ritual to adrenaline. It's not just for the sake of getting adrenaline. You got to know how to harness these energies. So this when it comes into the other practices that they add to it, to harness the adrenaline energy and things of that nature, to the point that they even got certain levels to these, to the point that they call the orgasm the highest adrenaline, right? So they even start to get experimental with having orgasms. So they start doing gay shit around each other. They start trying to force each other to try to have orgasm in ways that a human never can get an orgasm before, and they test these things, even in things that's non-sexual. They try to force traits to try to learn things. So it's like they be learning psyches, but they also is like negative in their way of doing it. Like it's real evil. Like it's y'all wouldn't even be able to believe it. Like y'all gotta be a adeptist to really see the shit I be seeing.